Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jillian Bartlett. I am the ratified candidate now running in the general election for the Grand Marco City. That's located in Freeport, Grand Bahama. Today I'm on to do a little recap. No, actually, it's a big recap, but I have only 20 minutes to speak. I don't want to be on long. I don't want it to be very long, but before I get started, I need you to help me share. Gotta get my little flag on because I love everything about my country. I love my country. I want you to help me share this live, first of all. I'm gonna do a recap of nomination day, recap of the early election, recap of what happened in Nassau with regards to the world record breaking political motorcade that was actually a rally because they refused to. I think they must think we're living in the Stone Ages where they think they can block our voices, but they're going to try. I'm also going to speak about why politicians feel that because they've been in this career so long, that they're entitled to be the only politicians to speak on behalf of the country. Career politicians. I'm a Bahamian, and 40 other Bahamians and the Coalition of Independence have vowed to be responsible adults to run their country. We no longer fear anything because we know we were called to make this history with regards to being politicians. We really didn't want to be a politician, but we noticed that we don't like the way these career politicians are operating. And not only that, the career politicians are really separating us as Bahamians. That's why I said I love everything about the Bahamas. I love everything about the Bahamas, but I especially love our culture. I especially love and respect my flag, our laws. I love my beaches. I love my crazy people who are doing all their foolishness. I still love them because we're all the same. We're Bahamians. But some of us have brought the level to another level. We've brought the level up with regards to how we represent ourselves doing politics. Okay? And we're not going to change that. And we love our people to be free to do whatever and say whatever they want as long as you are responsible for what comes out of your mouth. Now, for those things are being said in the public where people are fighting each other and speaking indecently, listen, them days over. Nobody afraid. They are over. You have to get with the program. The COI has just brought the standard to another level. And like I said, we do not want to be politicians. So we don't have to act like them. We can act like the Bahamians who love their country and want to bring a united front. Okay? And for those who may not follow Mr. Bain, you can be anywhere in the country. If people all over the world is following the leader for the Coalition of Independence and you haven't, it tells us that you're not there yet. And it's okay. We're not hating on anything. What we're hating on is the fact that we do have laws, we do have a culture, we do have guidelines to follow, and we still got to respect each other even through this process. Now, the old career politicians want to continue this fear mongering, and people feel like they can't represent the party they love. They're representing their party. They're the reason we are actually here because they have not represented the country standard in politics to where we need it. Now you say we. Okay, my generation, which is a bit older, the generation in their 40s, the generations in their 30s, and the generations in their 20s. We no longer live in the 60s and the 70s, 80s, and the 90s. That's whole, 2000? That's whole how long? 6 years where we have to, I feel like we're behind the 10 ball. Now, again, the coalition, let's get it clear, has a vision. The Coalition of Independence have a vision. It's not omitting FNMs and PLPs. But unfortunately, we've had career politicians who have not followed protocols, laws, and guidelines. It doesn't apply to them, Bahamians. They are the career politicians who have, let's say, demarginalized you as Bahamians. Not the COI. We're not responsible for that. We're here to bring and close the gap so we can have some order. Just imagine this. This election is over and the COI win the election. Just imagine this now. You remember how there's certain things you couldn't talk about because you said FNM or PLP? We're not having that no more. Be free. Be free because we have a new government that's running the country. You don't have to walk in fear and you don't have to worry about, I'm going to lose my job because, they're in. When the COI is in, we don't care who you are. We didn't care if you made a fool of yourself during the whole entire election. That is not the point. The point is, we're going to upgrade everything in our societies, in our communities, and globally to work for the benefit for all the people. I know they don't want y'all to hear this, but that is the reality of what we're going to do once we win the election. You don't got to walk around if you're going to lose your job. If you're a government worker, you feel like if you say something, you don't get paid, you don't get a promotion. Them days can be over. And that's all we're trying to say through Vision 2030, which you probably haven't read yet. Please, we've already shown you our plans for 100 days. You're not going to believe this. I'm not lying. The FNM and PLP have their rallies based on Vision 2030 that was created. And we're glad they're doing it. But let me tell you the problem there with the FNM and PLP who's read our Vision 2030 in their rallies. You are already in seat of authority. Before you prorogue the House, you had the opportunity to tell the Bahamian, before you put up the first poster, you had the opportunity to make half of the things, maybe 3 of the things on Vision 2030 happened. But you didn't do it. So why is it that you're going to wait to have rallies and you're not in the seat of authority and you're going to quote the Vision 2030? I mean, Bahamian people, make it make sense. They want to have rallies to tell you what they could have done, which they should have done, long before the actual House of Assembly was prorogued. I want to say it again. They want to come out of the House Assembly where they had the authority 6 months in, 1 year in, before they call the election, take it to make 3 things happen. I ain't talking about it in a rally. I'm talking about actually make it happen. But no, they want you to come to a rally, dress up in their paraphernalia, and the community ain't clean. They want you to come to the rally, get drunk, eat, spend some foreigners' money, food paying for whatever. But you got to wake up the next day and you got to go back to that job that's making you toxic and you ain't getting paid. I needed to make sense. So why are we doing all this talking back and forth? The COI already have the vision, If there's any indication of what happened in Nassau, that the people ready? Y'all don't have to listen to this. Wear the t-shirts. Ain't no problem with that. Have your fun at their rallies, at their quoting what we've already written. Go visit our Vision 2030 and look at the vision and you're going to say, but baby, now I know I was a little drunk when I was at this rally, eating and drinking and partying and having block party at the FNM or PLP, whatever they do. But the COI already have this written down. So wait, who govern our country? Only the FNM and PLP. So a year ago, 2 years ago, why didn't look at the Vision 2030 and say, go do it so they could snuff us out of position? They didn't do it. So you got to tell yourself, wait now, I'm 30 years old. I ain't been through half of the things Miss Bartlett been through. And I just going through the motion now. But they ain't do it 10 years ago. They ain't do it 20 years ago. Wait a minute, if I 30 now, that means 30 years ago, they was talking the same foolishness in a rally. Election is every 5 years, but you couldn't get accomplished. You close down the House of Assembly, go in a rally and tell the people what you can do for them from our Vision 2030. But you could have done that 6 months ago. I want to say it again. You could have done it 2 years ago. If it was okay, let me draw some example what they could have done. Oh, I don't like this one, but I have to talk about it. Okay, there's a horrific environmental issue in the Bahamas. Instead of putting up all those flyers all along the road, all them posters that are coming down right now, they could do a massive campaign cleaning Grand Bahama. Let's just stay with Grand Bahama because Nassau, y'all know it over for y'all. A massive cleaning for Nassau too. They could have done that for y'all. They could have done that last year. They didn't have to wait till the election. But they did not do it. What else? The economy. The civil workers are still protesting for their money. Well, Philip Davis made himself the Minister of Natural Resources, the Financial Minister, the Minister of the Land. So he can start it 3 years ago because he have all the experience. But no, he was the minister for those three departments: financial, the financial minister, I think it's the land and survey minister, the minister of education, the minister of natural resources. But he wait till the election and they ain't give y'all your money? Oh, y'all don't think it exists. It exists. So what? Y'all put on those shirts and parade around, drink alcohol and parade around. And now you wake up 12 days before or 11 days before the election. Okay, less than that. 10 days before the election. And now you have a hangover and now you're here. I still love my country, That ain't gonna stop me from loving my country and doing what's right. That ain't gonna never stop me from doing that. But I want you to think. Okay? I want you to think. It doesn't matter if you're 20 or you're 30 because you haven't been through nothing yet. But if you're in your 40s and 50s, you've seen 2 elections and things could have been much better than it is. I gave you 2 examples. Example is cleaning up. The next example is having economy. So you don't have to be hustling for the job. Mr. Davis, why didn't you release the natural resources? Because it do exist. Because you know it exists. But you didn't release it for the people. You want to bring them back to a election campaign. Rah, 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 rah. And then everybody finish partying, have their drinks, and then they wake up with a hangover to go back to the same job that they hate anyway, or don't even have a job, or hustling for jobs and have to work anyway, any kind of way. Make it make sense. Am I making sense or not? And this is the reason we stood up for our country, because no longer we can continue on this trajectory. Now, let me just say a little bit about the nomination day, and then I want to say a little bit about early elections. Nomination day really is a blur, honestly. It was unusual because each candidate experienced something different, but I had a delight to go to each of them except for one of the candidates because my poll was having some issues, and it's fine, okay? I think we need a update with regards to nomination day. It's so old-fashioned. I literally was laughing, but you couldn't see my face. I was holding a poker face. It was laughable. Well, I have to admit that Belinda Wilson polling, I don't care what nobody say about the presiding officers. That polling was probably the best organized polling division. What I would change if I wanted some changes in it? I don't think I'd change anything really, because they gotta check everybody out, and they were fair. I had a backup plan with the plan, so I wouldn't change anything. I'd say for Marco City and Belinda, it was very interesting, and nomination is finished. Now, early election. What would I change for early election? Now, first of all, I didn't know the setup at all. Parliamentary in Grand Bahama need to communicate with the candidate, which is me, exactly what's expected in that room. The candidate must know this. See, we all went on the old way of doing things where they had 3 to that room. I mean, each party had 3 individuals, and then they have their tent and their runner going back and forth, which is fine, okay? But I give no credit to parliamentary for not informing the candidates on black and white what was expected that day. We should not have to wait until early election to figure out how the room is going to be set up. Now, maybe it was different in Nassau, but in Grand Bahama, we figured out that day. That's unfair. What if you didn't have more than 3 persons and you didn't have your 6 persons? I was never told we needed 6 persons. I was told I needed 6 persons outside the door by another political party, and why should I take their word for that? I gave the blame on the parliamentary organizers. In future reference, these information need to be in details for the candidate, because you cause us to be ill prepared, and that causes confusion, and I didn't like it. But fortunately for Marco City, we had sufficient to run that whole day. In Marco City, there was only 966 that was listed on that register. So we were able to sit there all day and canvass and do what we had to do. And I wanted to see the whole process from I was there at 4:30 along with 2 other gentlemen, and we assumed our position. I wanted to witness the whole thing myself so I know what to expect. So parliamentary, you fell short informing the candidate what exactly was expected. And I'll explain to you what they've done. And I don't know if it's different because, like I said, I've never in an election before. They had the room split from A to a certain alphabet on one side, and then on the opposite side will be from wherever that N to Z. So that means you had 2 panels going on in one room, 3 on each side for 3 of the political parties needed 3 persons each to sit in, and vice versa on the other side, along with presiding officers. So they had double presiding officers. The presentation in the early election was good. They opened the door at 7:30, and everybody thought they didn't get the memo. Everybody thought that was assume your position. So everybody's running like chicken lost your head, and the presiding officers walking forward, and everybody was like running to their tables. Like, okay, I will follow him for a second, grab that area, grab this area, and I can grab that chair. Oh my God. Are we back in the Stone Ages? But again, I give credit to the presiding officer. Once we were aware and inside, he asked us all to cordially sit on both sides, and the presiding officers were facing us, and they introduced them so we could be familiar with each other. And after the presentation took about maybe 15 minutes, it was over. I assumed my position back at the door, and I stood in the front, making sure that once my people came out, you had to line up, and I informed the police that I'm a candidate. Therefore, I'm sitting right here because I was the first here this morning, and nobody could open their mouth and say anything. Other than that, informing us prior, other than that, everything was fine. There was some drama, from other people, but it wasn't warranted. So I was like, okay. And the presiding officer made sure that if there was any issues, he came over to the table and he made sure came for me, and along with other candidates or candidates representative, to this dispute that somebody brought up, and was like, okay, if you come early on time, you would have had this information in advance, because that's what you're supposed to do as a candidate. Appear on time, not coming in 2-3 hours trying to shake everybody's hand like you some dignitary. I ain't shaking your hand because you disrespect the time. Other than that, we were great. We were wonderful. As in how early elections are done. And, they have all their other procedures, and all the Bahamians involved were happy to take part. I observed everything. From the 4:30 that morning, when they closed the polls, they told us to come to the polls, come at the end where the gates there, the police had barricaded. It was 6 o'clock in the dot, and the disruptors tried to disrupt the presiding officer, but I'm not calling any names. And I said, there's 1 minute left, and the polls have to be closed. The police officers were there. They put the barricade off. Some people were trying to be distracting. I said, y'all have 1 minute for this pole to be closed. And the police stayed at the pole. So that was wonderful. And then we had to go back in, even though the polls were closed at 6. Once you're inside and you're on that line, we still had to stay. So we still had to sit. And they went over to the A side, because many were on the A side whose names were last, and they were last on the line. And we got a few on our side. So, we had to keep our eyes open and keep going and keep writing and keep ourselves occupied. But otherwise, that was pretty good, okay? Now, so here we are now in the dawn of election. Marcos City. I didn't hear you speak to me, and you've spoken to me from different angles. And I really appreciate that, because like I said, Marcos City, I'm not dictating to you. This is what leadership should be about. After 53 years, you're supposed to go to your constituents and ask them, what is it that you want me to represent? We know we have the vision, but what is it that you want? When I came into this race, I came in sort of late, but it's okay. I'm a quick learner and I'm ready, and quick study. I asked the Marcos City, and it's important to recite this over and over, repeat this over and over. I told Marcos City there was a lot of complaints. We couldn't put them all on my flyer, and I've only worked with this flyer because it's coming from Marcos City, not Jillian Bartlett. I'm here to serve them. Lights and road safety was one. Reports dealing with that. That's no new news. They're just saying they're being ignored, and safety is important. The walkway from Jack Hayward extended to the Ponciana is needed. These are small fix, F&M and PLP. You could have fixed it before they call election. You could have tried, okay, but you did not. Mental health issues and care facility is a real concern for Marcos City. But then again, that's a real concern for everybody on the whole. The taxi license burden, shouldn't the public taxi service license be enough? Jobette Kobe, Marcos City is asking you under the PLP, why are you burdening the taxis with other taxes? That's it. Okay? And I also put on the flyer that 41 candidates receive about $9 million per year every 5 years. So you can calculate the $9 million per year for every 5-year term, and you will see simply what that money was allotted for. I don't care how difficult it is for you to get the money. That ain't our concern as Bahamians out here. What our concern is, you allotted community funds to take care of the community needs. And it hasn't been proven by the looks of things as I go through the community that you've used the money responsibility, because we don't have a Freedom of Information Act. So simple issues in the community remains ignored. And I never read about me. It's there. I never read it because I really don't care. I am concerned about what's happening with the community of Marcos City. And they are not feeling it. And they in Marcos City are fed up. And they're tired of doing the same thing over and over, trusting the learned, experienced PLP and F&M to make sure protect their community and make sure that their community come first. And they're not feeling it. Mayfield, you're not feeling it. Humanswood, you're not feeling it. All the different areas that I went in, they ain't feeling it. And they tired. And they telling me they tired. Because I'm one of them and they's one of me. When we get in, we're going to take care of our Bahamian people. It is what it is. And that's what it should be about. It shouldn't be about separatism and causing the people to fight each other during the election. It should not be about that. Okay? Okay. So I'm going to end about 5 more minutes. I'm going to be on. Like I said, I don't want to be on long. I really need you to share this information because it's important that the dialogue we have is current. And it's important to repeat it over and over. The two political parties that we've had has separated us and allow other entities to come over us. For instance, the PLP government is not the same PLP government during Pinland days. They was to protect us through Bahamianization. So you said, Jillian, what is Bahamianization? Well, all of these banking and all of these industries and all of these hotels, well, they were supposed to be the owners. That was the plan under the PLP. They failed to execute that plan because they saw the money and somebody had got spinned and now they didn't follow through. And now here we are today. Now we know the system under the opposition isn't working. We recall Mr. Minnis, who's now an independent. That ain't gonna work for us right now. We don't care who y'all put in charge of that party. You have not, and we feel, and the people are telling me this, you have not served as the opposition fighting tooth and nail, pick, cutlass, whatever you name, for the interests of the people in the Bahamas. You have not stopped the PLP from doing damage to our country. And this is what you are not listening to. They said you have failed as an opposition. And it's 53 years later. They cannot trust what happened under Minnis, under the FNM. They cannot trust to have Pintad coming and talking about, I don't know what he's talking about, because there's no proof that he has been a strong opposition leader. There's no proof under Minnis that you were able and capable of dealing with the PLP at the time. But you had a snap election, and we don't understand. That makes no sense. And here we are in Backness Woods. So that's where we're coming in. We're coming in on your record. Your record do not reflect that you fought as an opposition for the people of the Bahamas, not for the FNMs. We're talking for the people of the Bahamas. And we have this generational, we call politics, where the PLP always think that they're in charge and large. No, you're not. You're not above the law. We have an opposition ain't strong enough to fight them on issues when it comes to basically following laws. Because they're not following the laws. All right, let me see what y'all say. 99% of the Bahamian don't like change. Well, let's refer right back to yesterday, was it? Let's look at the motorcade. That's our indicator. Let's look at all the houses I went to in Marco City. That's my indicator. People want change. Let's look at the new generation coming up in their 30s, and they beginning to go through the same thing I went through when I was in my 40s. That's when I really started to pay attention to politicians and politics. They're in their 30s, more educated than I am. And they are saying they're experiencing the same backwardness from the PLP and the FNM. So our people are woken. Let's talk going in May forward. But what we need right now from you is to show up at an election. And why can't you show up in your COI? Show up in your black. Show up in your Bahamian colors. Show them that you're about your country's business, not their political party business. For instance, the FNM is trying to patch their party back together because Minnis messed it up. The PLP, there's a new PLP in town. We don't need that. Our Bahamian flag should rise through the Coalition of Independence higher than any other political party that's governed our party. So what I'm asking you to do, what Mr. Bain has asked you to do just yesterday, get your Bahamian flags on your car. Show your united pride over political parties who are career politicians. You come out with your Bahamian colors. Come out with your COI. Come out in black and black it out in this coming election. This is your only chance to make an impression. Because after this, the natural resources money is not a secret anymore. And we do not want persons who have been in authority, who we cannot trust, even with protocols and our constitution. They will break it, which they have been breaking, and they don't respect our voices, because in that House of Assembly, we don't hear our voices being represented. And this is where we are. So I become before you today as a citizen of my country called the Bahamas. I am not a career politician. I'm a COI candidate. And what is that exactly? That's 40 Bahamians who have stepped forward in the 2026 election. I'm representing the Marco City. It's located in Freeport, Grand Bahama. They're asking me to make sure that I step up to the plate to make sure that Marco City becomes Grand Marco City. And it's coming from a community level. Nothing else. Nothing else. Everybody know we have Vision 2030. We have the 100-day plan to explain to you in simple terms what is expected. Not getting confused and getting back in the House of Assembly and then they take a vacation first. The FNM did that. And then they gave their wise position. The PLP and the FNM did that. And they give themselves raises. Yes, they both did it. And they hiked the VAT because they didn't take the VAT pressure off you. Don't blame the United States now, because what's happening in the United States? Your political career politicians did that to you. They made your life a living hell. So, no matter the distance between us, no matter our struggles, all right? Our struggles and our station in life, we are all born from the soil. It's called the Bahamas, which all of you love. And I want you to keep sharing this. You love your country over any career politician who wants to secure and solidify their position to go back into the House of Assembly. You are above that right now. And we cannot allow the same thing to happen over and over and over again. All right? So, I want us to remain focused. The focus forward now is to work with all of your COI candidates. All. Come to the polls strong, resolute that we must make history. We must change the trajectory and the direction our country is going. We want to be the voice for the people. We've already devised the 100-day plan. The community is complaining in Marco City. Now you can be a part of self-governance under our portfolio and Vision 2030. You cannot do that under what you have now, because they had the autonomy to actually make it happen before election. And that trick ain't gonna work no more. But under the Coalition of Independence, we will make each community self-sufficient by reaching back into the communities and bringing up the people who have the plans to make their communities stronger. The plan is there. Now, when it comes to the immigration issues, the plan is more than humane. More than humane. No longer we will have persons disrespecting our countries, our laws, our constitution. We will bring back respect, and we will demand respect from migrants or anybody who come to our country and disrespect us on our soil, because we are the Bahamians, and we will stand up to upgrade whatever policies they have in the immigration department. But not only that, we have Mr. Lincoln Bean, the leader of the Coalition of Independence, who is a former police. He's probably one of the best investigators I've ever seen. Police officers, it's time. It's time. We need protection of our people. It's part of our constitutional rights that once we don't feel protected, that's failure. Once the economy isn't sufficing for every individual, that's failure. And right now, the FNM and PLP have failed on those 2 counts right now. We have Mr. Lincoln being in place because of his background in the police force, his background studying law. No, you don't have to be an attorney. You don't have to pass the bar. But because, for some reason, Mr. Lincoln Bain was thinking in advance, he studied law. He studied law. We can all study the law of the country, but he studied laws. It doesn't have to qualify him to be an attorney because we know what kind of attorneys we got right now in our country. And they study, and sometimes I wonder about their credentials. He's also in place to be their security because we women, we women of the Bahamas do not feel secure in our society because of the crime level. And because the FNM and PLP have not put in place to make us feel secure because they hire lawyers to be part of the Minister of Security. It makes no sense. He has devised a plan which those who are qualified Bahamians who are vying in this election are now going to be in place from day one under Vision 2030 to execute the plan. Safety is one. You must be secure in your own country because if you're not and you have chaos and you have crime everywhere, that's a problem. We cannot no longer live like this. We need to have an economy that sustains basic living, not the hustling we see out there. That is wrong. The PLP had asked us as Bahamians, send your children away to school, educate them so they can come and take over their country. That's 53 years later, and you're trying to tell us we ain't ready. Well, we're telling you we are ready. We have the Vision 2030. Mr. Bain is in charge to do exactly this. Not only that, he's not the only one. He got passionate, qualified Bahamians who will be honest enough to make sure that the job is executed properly for all the people. I'm not talking about just FNM. Okay, cancel out all the candidates. I'm talking against them. I'm talking about the people who are in these communities whose voices are not being heard. That's who you're representing. It's time for you to come up to help make your country that you love way better than it is right now, okay? So today I stand before you, like I stand before you in all these parts, because I'm coming off in a second. Because it's time. The time has come to say enough is enough. And we've heard that expression over and over, but we're really saying enough is enough right now, okay? So far too long, we have endured raising inflation. And I'm ending here with no clear vision for our leaders on how to soften the blow. The cost of living continues to climb whilst the opportunity continues to shrink. It cannot be party opportunities anymore. We have to balance out the playing field right now. It cannot be because one party get in, their people get taken care of. When the next party get in, their people get taken. It cannot be that anymore. It has to stop because we're imploding. And the younger generation ain't just coming up. The younger generation is here right now. I'm going to end here. Families are stretched, dreams are deferred, and hope is being quietly suffocated. This is where we are. You know the problem. You have the solution. You've been educated far long enough to know it's time for you to come up. Those who are working on jobs that are just, it's demeaning. We cannot have that anymore. I think you should go to your job as happy like a little bee, singing and skipping. We don't have that no more. The COI wants to bring that back because Mr. Bain want to bring dignity when you show up at any job that you are going to be well taken care of beyond your wildest dream. Now, when we release the 100,000, please. It's your money. We can't tell you to do with your money. And the COI will never assert that position to tell you to do with your money. You know you got bills. You know you need a proper home. You know the home that you have need to be improved. You know what you got to do, and we're going to leave that up to you because you are a responsible adult and you're quite capable of handling your affairs. At least you come to the job happy. Just think about that. I know it's not just about money. It's about integrity. It's about respect. It's about taking away the stigma that the FNM and PLP have put on our people, that sometimes we don't want to talk to each other. And sometimes I shouldn't talk to some of you because you're running out. I don't like that. But if you see me be courteous to you and you won't extending that courtesy back to me, honey, Bob's your uncle, I gone. There's too many other people to talk to. But the political stigma. Why? This is our country, you know. And it should be about our country legacy now. It should be about your future now. It should always be about the Bahamian people now. Because we've paved the way to make sure that our children, your children, all the parents' children have educated their children to stand in the gap, to run this country efficiently for all, not just those two political sides. So I'm inviting all the Bahamians coming on this election, especially in Grand Bahama, come to the table. Speak your truth. Put your vote where it counts. Come with your flag in your hand. Put your flag on your car. Come to us as agents of change. Get your posters and put on your car, because it ain't about the FNM and PLP no more. It's about you, the Bahamian people. I think my 20 minutes is up. I'm done. Please help me share this. Let's make history in our country. Let's vote COI. And let's show you all the stuff we're talking about will be a reality. We're not promising dreams. And we're not having drunken block party rallies. We're coming with the plan. That's it. And it's up to you to make up your mind at those polls in the next 10 days. All right. Help me share this, please. Again. Thank you very much, Williams Gardner. So respect due to you, madam. And one love. Yeah, it's one love is right. It's one love. We love our country. Okay. Thank you all for commenting. I repost this for you. Thank you very much, William Gardner. I appreciate that. Just repost it, share it to people. This is about reality now. We ain't into no speech and talk. The COI is into action. We'll be ready from day one. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for joining me and appreciate it. Take care. Goodbye.